Today we're going to be kicking off a small unit about transformations. One of the first transformations we're going to learn about is called translations. The word translation in math is typically viewed as something that moves. So if you translate something, you're simply moving it. The goal today is I want you to be able to translate points in the coordinate plane and then write those new locations. So if we jump right into some of the vocab, like I'd mentioned, the first way or first transformation we're going to talk about is translations. There are also other ones, rotations, reflections, and dilations. 3 out of the 4 of them don't have the shape itself change size, but a dilation does. So that's where something actually enlarges or shrinks from its original size. The other ones just kind of manipulate the existing shape. And like I said, they're all called transformations. So the whole idea is a translation shifts a shape either left or right, up or down, sometimes both. The way we write this translation is called a vector. So instead of looking like an ordered pair, we have these symbols to show that it's a vector. A vector is a way to show movement. The A tells us the points moved left or right, and then the B tells us up or down. So it is similar to the normal coordinate where the X value is left and right, the Y value is up and down. So it's almost the same like that. So if we want to translate this triangle, ABC, along the vector 3, 1, we want to plot the new triangle and then label the new points. So 3, 1, remember this number is telling us if we're going right or left. Because it's a positive, it's going right. The second one is up and down. Since it's a positive, we're moving it up. So we're taking this whole triangle, moving it 3 units to the right and 1 up. So let's see what that would look like. I'm going to darken 1 point as one that just kind of shows what we're doing. If we took this whole thing, and I'm using the C point as going over 1, 2, 3, but then up 1, you land right here. So I'm going to go ahead and darken. That was too much. Our new point. And the way we label these is it's going to be the same, the A, B, and the C, but it's A prime, B prime, C prime. So it's like an apostrophe up top there. So that's the new points. Now, you actually moved all 3 points, actually every point on the entire triangle. So if I looked at A, I did go over 1, 2, 3, and then up 1 to get to A prime. You're actually moving each of those points. So we now have the graph of where they're at, but we want to label them. Our A prime is at 0, 4. Our B prime is at 0, negative 1. And our C prime is at 2, negative 1. So in addition to drawing the new triangle, labeling each of those points, you also have to say what the coordinates of those points are. Why don't you go ahead and try doing this one? Pause for a second, and then we'll come back together and take a look. So remember, this first one tells us if it goes left or right. So that, because it's a negative, means you went left 2. Our y, or our b value, is like our y, the up and down. Since it's a positive, it meant up. So each of these points moved 2 to the left and 2 up. So our b prime is here, our a prime is there, and our c prime is right there. Go ahead and form that triangle, and those coordinates are -5, 5, -5, 0, and then -3, 0. So a translation is simply moving an entire figure through a vector, left or right, up or down. Taking a look at number 3, we're working backwards now. We know you go from a to a prime, so you went from this one to that one. And we want to figure out what was the vector. Now we know it's every point, but you really just need to focus on one. So going from here to here, you went over 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you went down 1, 2. So 4 to the right, 2 down would be a negative, and it's a vector. So we write it like that. Pretty quick lesson. Go back and practice. Take a look at them again. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, go ahead and take a look at this next one and see what are they asking for. So by taking a look at that, you should see, if we focus on Q to Q prime, how did you go from 2 to -3? Well, you would have moved over 5 to the left. So I'm thinking in my head, 5 to the left is what we were doing there. Take a look at the exact same thing for the r and r prime. Going from -1 to -6, did you go 5 to the left? Yes. Take a look at 0 to -5, did you go 5 to the left? Yes. So -5 is our first. Then we're looking at, let's see, the y value, or the b value when it's our vector, going from -3 up to 1 is 4 units. So we're thinking of a +4. Is that the same for 5 to 9? Yep, you went up 4. From 9 to 13, you went up 4. So you're really just picturing on a coordinate plane, on a number line, you're just kind of seeing something that can make you count those spaces. So then the single vector that was applied to go from QRS, triangle QRS, to triangle Q prime, R prime, S prime was 5, -4. Go ahead and rate yourself on how comfortable you feel with what our goal was. Hopefully we're somewhere in that range. Like I said, otherwise ask me some questions and I'll see you soon.